So after having done the previous problem, let us see another type of problem in the design for shear with vertical stirrups. Now the third problem goes like this. The fourth problem, in fact 3.4, the rectangular beam is having the dimensions 300 mm and 500 mm effective depth. It carries a UDL of 50 kilonewtons under working condition. It is inclusive of the self weight. The beam is reinforced with, over here we have two different types of diameters. It's having two bars of 20 mm diameter and one bar of 16 mm diameter. So it's a combination of two different diameters which form the tension steel, out of which one bar of 16 is curtailed at a distance of 1 meter from both the supports. So the mid-span reinforcement is 2 bars of 20 mm diameter plus 1 bar of 16, and at the support, the 1 meter from the support and going on to the support, we have only 2 bars of 20 because 1 bar of 16 is cut off. So actually this reinforcement has been provided for bending, and it has been found that at a certain distance 1 bar of 16 is no longer required, no longer necessary. 2 bars of 20 themselves are enough. So 1 bar of 16 is cut off. That gives economy to the project. So at 1 meter from both the supports, 16 mm bar is cut. So only 2 bars of 20 continue to the support. The further details given over here are: the beam is simply supported over an effective span of 4 meters. M25 concrete and Fe 500 steel are used for the beam. Design the beam for maximum shear force with vertical stirrups. Now over here the instruction is design the beam for maximum shear force with vertical stirrups. So maximum shear force, as we understand, occurs at the support. So we have been told to design the beam for shear at the support for the maximum shear force, and at the support you have to remember that there are 2 bars going into the support, though at the mid span there are 3 bars, that is 2 bars of 20 and 1 bar of 16 mm diameter. So let us go ahead with the solution. In the solution, the data first we are compiling. The width is 300 mm, the effective depth is 500 mm. We have 50 kilonewton per meter as the UDL. AST is a combination of two different diameters, 2 bars of 20 and 1 bar of 16, out of which 1 bar of 16 is curtailed at a distance of 1 meter from either ends. Simply supported beam, effective span 4 meters, M25 concrete, Fe 500 steel. So having got all this, we have to design it for shear. Let us look at step number 1. Step number 1, as usual, calculate the value of Vu. Since it is a simply supported beam with UDL, Vu is W into L by 2. So Vu, we are converting this into the ultimate load. So ultimate load means 1.5 into 50, multiplying the load factor to the UDL. So we get 1.5 into 50 multiplied by the effective span is 4 meters. 4 meters divided by 2. So that gives me the value of Vu as 150 kilonewton. Please note that this 1.5, the load has been converted to the ultimate load. So we get the value of the ultimate shear force acting at the support as 150 kilonewton. As 150 kilonewton, 150. Going to step number 2. Step number 2, we are finding the nominal shear stress. Now how do we get the value of nominal shear stress? We look at clause 40.1 on page number 72 of the code. Page number 72 of the code, clause 40.1 goes like this: the nominal shear stress in beams of uniform depth shall be obtained by the following equation. Tau V is equal to Vu upon B into D. This is B into D. So tau V is equal to Vu, that is 150 we have got, divided by B, which is 300, and D is 500. So we get tau V as 1 Newton per mm square. So the value of tau V, we have got it as 1 Newton per mm square. Having got the value of tau V, the nominal shear stress as 1 Newton per mm square, okay, the shear stress which is coming on the beam due to the external acting load as 1 Newton per mm square. Let us proceed to step number 3. In step number 3, we find what is the maximum shear stress beyond which the concrete would crush, that is tau C max. Step number 3 is finding tau C max. So we refer to tau C max given in page number 73 of table 20 of the code IS 456. So when we refer to page number 73, the table looks like this. Table number 20 for maximum shear stress tau C max. Tau C max for M25 concrete. M25 concrete is 3.1 Newton per mm square. Now over here we go to the step number 4, compare tau C max and tau V. Tau C max is 3.1 Newton per mm square and tau V is 1 Newton per mm square. So the maximum stress the concrete can take before collapse is much greater, that is 3.1, much greater than the shear stress, the nominal shear stress which is coming on the beam. So we are going to step number 5. Now what is step number 5? Step number 5 is, if tau C max is greater than tau V, that means the beam has much more capacity, the concrete has much more capacity before it would collapse, before it would crush. So maximum, there is no problem, maximum wise. So if that is the thing, then find the value of tau C from the value of area of steel provided in the flexural tension, continuing at least 1d from the section considered. Now when we refer to the code, table number 19 on page number 73, below the footnote has been given that we have to consider only that steel which is continuing 1d, 1 effective depth further than the section considered. Now over here 3 bars are there at the midspan, that is 2 bars of 20 and 1 bar of 16, but 1 bar of 16 gets cut off 1 meter away from the support. Now when I'm considering the support, there are only 2 bars of 20 which are going to continue within the support. So only 2 bars of 20 are to be considered. So AST is 2 bars of 20. Please note, though there are 3 bars, only 2 bars continue into the support. So only 2 bars are to be considered when we are finding the value of tau C. When we are finding the value of tau C. So AST is 2 bars of 20. AST 2 into pi by 4 into d square, 2 into pi by 4 into 20 square, or 2 into this gives me 314. So the answer comes as 628. So in order to find the value of tau C, we need to know what is 100 AS upon BD. So we have 100, AS is 628, B is 300 and D is 500. So from here we get the value as 0.42. 100 AS upon BD comes to 0.42. Now when we get the value of AS upon BD as 0.42, let us look at this. In between 25 and 50 would be my 0.42. The value would be somewhere in between this. Now for M25 concrete, for 25 it is 0.36, for 50 it is 0.49. So over here for 0.25 it is 0.36, for 0.50 it is 0.49. We are interested in knowing what is the value of 0.42. So tau C is equal to the smaller value plus the difference between these two, that is bigger minus smaller, divided by difference between these two, that is bigger minus smaller, multiplied by that 0.42 minus the small one. 0.42 minus the small one. The value I get is 0.36 plus the difference between these two comes to 0.13. This comes to 0.25 multiplied by difference between these two comes as 0.17. So tau C is equal to 0.36 plus 0.13 divided by 0.25 comes to 0.52 multiplied by this is 0.17. So we get tau C is equal to 0.36 plus this comes down to 0.0884. So tau C is equal to 0.448 Newton per mm square. Now let us verify whether that value comes within this. Yes, 0.448 comes within this. So that means my inherent capacity of the beam to resist the external shear force or the external shear stress, the nominal shear stress whatever is coming, so the inherent capacity of the beam is 0.448 Newton per mm square. Its own capability because of the type of concrete, the grade of concrete, the amount of steel provided at that particular section, the aggregate interlock, and the other things and the other parameters over there. So step number 6, compare tau C and tau V. Tau C is 0.448 less than tau V, which is 1 Newton per mm square. So its own capacity to resist the shear force is, or resist the shear stress rather, is much lesser than the shear stress coming on it. The nominal shear stress is higher than its own capacity. That means we will have to help the beam, we will have to reinforce the beam by providing the shear stirrups, because the beam by itself, the concrete by itself, because of the longitudinal steel present over there, cannot resist the maximum shear stress coming on the beam. So we need to provide the shear reinforcement. Now calculate, in order to design for the shear reinforcement, first calculate the value of the amount of force the shear stirrup has to take. So VUS is equal to VU minus tau C BD. So the amount of force the stirrup has to take will be equal to the total factored shear force minus the force resisted only by concrete, that is tau C into BD. So VUS, the force to be resisted by the stirrups, is equal to 150 into 10 raised to 3, which we have found out in step number 1, minus 0.448, that is tau C multiplied by B into D. So this is Newton per mm square, this is mm into mm, so we get the total value in newtons. So VUS, the force to be resisted by the stirrups, is equal to 150 to 10 raised to 3 minus the capacity of the beam is 67.185 into 10 raised to 3 newtons. So this minus this gives me value as 82.814 into 10 raised to 3 newtons. That means the shear reinforcement has to be provided over there so as to take the force of this much. This much amount of force has to be taken, that is 82.814 into 10 raised to 3 newtons. So now in order to do that, we go to the next step. Calculate the spacing of the vertical stirrups from the equation given for vertical stirrups in IS 456 clause 40.4a on page number 72 and 73. So we are looking at page number 73 in specific to get the particular clause. Now the clause says shear reinforcement shall be provided to carry a shear equal to VU minus tau C BD. VU minus tau C BD, that is this much. Shear reinforcement shall be provided to carry this much. The strength of the shear reinforcement shall be calculated as below. So VUS is equal to 0.87 Fy ASV upon into D upon SV. So that's the one. Now in this, VUS is already known to us, 0.87 is known to us, the type of steel is known to us. We don't know the value of ASV. The value of ASV is calculated over here. Now in order to calculate this, we are assuming that our steel, the stirrups, is made of two-legged 8 mm dia. Two-legged 8 mm dia. So ASV is two-legged pi by 4 into D square. So ASV is 2 into pi by 4 into 8 square, or AS is equal to 2 into 50, AS comes to 100. So ASV we have got is 100, D is already known to us. So all these parameters are known to us, only SV is to be found out. So 82.814 into 10 raised to 3 is equal to 0.87, Fy is 500, ASV is 100, D is 500 and SV is to be found out. So SV comes equal to 264.13. So two-legged stirrups of 8 mm dia have to be provided at 264.13 mm in order to tackle a load shear of 82.814 into 10 raised to 3. Rest of the one is already taken care of by the concrete itself. So the spacing is required to be 264.13 mm. Now apart from this, whatever is the spacing, the code says check for minimum spacing, minimum shear reinforcement. That much amount of minimum shear reinforcement has to be provided, that is per meter, and then we need to verify. So spacing has come to 264. Now let us check the spacing with this particular steel for minimum shear reinforcement. So give a check for provision of minimum shear reinforcement as per IS 456 2000 clause 26.5.1.6 page number 48. So what does this say? Minimum shear reinforcement in the form of stirrups shall be provided such that ASV upon BSV is greater than or equal to 0.4 upon 0.87 Fy, where ASV we have already discussed, that is the total cross-sectional area of the stirrup legs effective or taking part participative in shear. SV is the stirrup spacing. B is the width of the member, whatever is the member. Fy, please note over here, Fy is the characteristic strength of the stirrup reinforcement in Newton per mm square, but shall not be greater than 415 Newton per mm square. So even if I'm using the stirrup of 500 Newton per mm square, over here the capability will be restricted to 415 itself. Please note one thing, the stirrup which we have used over here is actually made of Fe500. How do we know it that it is made of Fe500? Just look at the previous page. Let us go to the previous page. When we go to the previous page, when we have done the calculation over here, for the stirrup the area is 100, but Fy we have taken is 500. The stirrup stress is taken as 500, but when we are providing minimum shear reinforcement, there is a condition that the value of Fy will be restricted to 415. Even if the stirrup has a higher grade steel, in this case it is 500, Fe500 which is being used for stirrup, we have to use Fy as 415. So over here this has been already done before, so we have already seen this before, how we have got this as 100. Two-legged 8 mm dia vertical stirrups, the calculation is 100 mm. Now in this, ASV is 100, B is 300, SV greater than or equal to 0.4, 0.87. Please note Fy is not taken as 500, but in this case Fy is taken as 415 as per the provision. As per the provision which has been just now discussed, Fy, even when the stirrup is made of Fe500, we are using 415 over here. Please note Fy has been restricted to 415. Having done that, we get the value of spacing as 300 less than 302.5 mm. The spacing cannot be more than 302.5 mm. So when the spacing is less than 302.5 mm, minimum shear reinforcement check gets satisfied. There is another check which we have to give. Check for maximum spacing as per IS 456 2000 clause 26.5.1.5, page 47, continued on page number 48, which says maximum spacing of shear reinforcement shall not exceed 0.75 d and in no case exceed 300 mm. So 0.75 d, 0.75 of 500 becomes 375 or 300. So now over here we have got the calculations. We have got 375, we have got 300, we have got 302 over here, and previous to this we have calculated the value as 264. Which is the smallest one? The smallest value is 264.13 mm. So least spacing is 264.13 mm. So answer is provide two-legged 8 mm dia stirrups anywhere below this 250 mm center to center. So we are providing two-legged 8 mm diameter stirrups at 250 mm center to center. Now let us see how this beam is depicted. The sketch, graphical sketch, that's the beam. At the midspan over here there is 2 bars of 20 plus 1 bar of 16. At the support we have 2 bars of 20. That's how it has been given. Two-legged 8 dia stirrups, throughout we have 250 mm center to center. Now over here is the cross section. Obviously cross section has been taken over here at the midspan. Now effective depth is 500, effective width or the width is 300 mm. This is the stirrup 8 dia at 250 center to center. Look at this, how we depict this. There is always that the beam is symmetrical. So 1 bar of 20 here, 1 bar of 20 here, and 1 bar of 16, which gets curtailed here and here. So if we take a section here, we will find that there is 1 bar here, 1 bar here, and there is nothing here in between. And this is the stirrup spacing, 8 dia stirrup at 250 center to center. So we have seen a problem in which there are different reinforcements diameters, and there is a curtailment of the reinforcement. At the same time, we have seen that the yield strength of the stirrup steel is more than 415, and the code has put a restriction on the minimum shear reinforcement on the Fy. So we have to take Fy as 415. So please keep this in mind when we are doing the design for shear for the vertical stirrups.